Imagine walking through a high-stakes negotiation where you aren't afraid to lose. Imagine a market crash where everyone else is panicking, but you are looking at a once-in-a-decade clearance sale. Most people see cash as a dead asset, a pile of paper losing value to inflation every single second it sits in a bank account. They'll tell you that if your money isn't invested, it's failing you. But they are missing the most powerful psychological and strategic tool in the world of finance. Cash isn't just for emergencies, it is the ultimate walk-away fund. It is the difference between being a victim of your circumstances and being the architect of your opportunities. When you have no liquidity, you are a slave to the immediate. You take the job you hate because the rent is due. You sign the predatory loan because the car broke down. You sell your stocks at the bottom because you need the money to survive. But when you have a mountain of cash behind you, the entire world starts to look different. You stop playing defense and start playing offense. The most expensive thing you can ever be is broke. It's a paradox that the financial world rarely talks about. The less money you have, the more everything costs. We call this the poverty premium. When you don't have the liquidity to buy in bulk, you pay a 30% markup on household essentials. When you can't afford to maintain your car, a $50 oil change turns into a $3,000 engine failure. When your credit score is bruised because of a missed payment, you pay thousands more in interest over the life of a loan. This isn't just about math, it's about the crushing weight of scarcity. Think about the last time you were truly stressed about money. That feeling of a tight chest and a racing mind isn't just stress, it's a cognitive drain. Research actually shows that the mental load of financial scarcity can drop your functional IQ by up to 13 points. That is the equivalent of losing a full night of sleep. When you are in survival mode, your brain literally loses the ability to think long-term. You make impulsive, short-term decisions because you have to solve the problem that is screaming the loudest right now. This is how the cycle of poverty sustains itself. It robs you of your greatest asset, your ability to make high-quality decisions. Now, compare that to the person with 6 months of cash sitting in a high-yield account. That money isn't just earning 4 or 5% interest. It's earning a freedom yield that is immeasurable. Liquidity is the ultimate leverage in negotiations. If you're sitting in a salary negotiation, and you know you have a year's worth of expenses in the bank, your body language changes, your tone changes. You aren't begging for a paycheck, you are offering your services from a position of power. You can say no to a bad deal, you can walk away from a toxic boss. The power to say no is the most valuable thing money can buy, and yet it's the first thing people sacrifice when they pour every single cent into the stock market. We've been conditioned to believe that every dollar must be working, but we forget that cash is a call option on every other asset class. When the economy hits a wall and the market drops 30%, the person who is fully invested is paralyzed. They are watching their net worth evaporate, but the person with cash? They are the only ones with the ability to buy. They are the ones who build generational wealth by providing liquidity when everyone else is desperate for it. They buy when there is blood in the streets, not because they are smarter, but because they had the discipline to keep their powder dry. Building this level of strength doesn't happen overnight, and you shouldn't try to leapfrog the process. It starts with basic stability. This is the first $1,000 or $2,000 that acts as a shield against the minor inconveniences of life. This is the money that keeps a flat tire from becoming a financial crisis. Once you have that shield, you move to real protection. This is 3 months of your actual living expenses. At this stage, the physiological change begins. You start to sleep better. That low-level hum of anxiety that has been running in the background of your life for years finally starts to fade. You aren't wealthy yet, but you are no longer vulnerable. You have bought yourself the ability to think. From there, you move toward true financial strength. 6 months or more of expenses. This is the stage where your walk-away power becomes absolute. This is where you can pivot careers, start a business, or wait out a multi-year bear market without breaking a sweat. We live in a culture that fetishizes hustle and all-in investing. We are told that cash is trash. But in reality, cash is the oil that keeps the machine of your life from seizing up. It is the buffer between you and the chaos of the world. Without it, you are a passenger in your own life, driven by the whims of your employer and the volatility of the market. With it, you are the pilot. You can afford to be patient. You can afford to be picky. You can afford to wait for the fat pitch in your career or your investments. Wealth isn't just about the number on your brokerage statement. It's about the level of control you have over your time and your choices. If you are tied to a desk because you are one paycheck away from disaster, you aren't wealthy, no matter how much your 401k says you're worth. True wealth is the silence of a phone that doesn't ring with bill collectors. It's the ability to look at a market crash and see a gift rather than a tragedy. It's the clarity of mind to make decisions based on where you want to be in 10 years rather than where you need to be by next Tuesday. Stop looking at your savings account as a pile of stagnant money and start looking at it as a war chest. Every dollar you add to that pile is a soldier that works for your freedom. It's a tiny bit of insurance against a boss who thinks they own you. It's a tiny bit of fuel for the day you decide to strike out on your own. Most people spend their lives running a race they can't win because they are carrying the heavy weight of debt and the constant fear of the unknown. They are running on a treadmill that is powered by their own anxiety. When you build a foundation of liquidity, you step off the treadmill. You realize that the goal isn't just to have more money, but to have more options. The world is volatile, unfair, and unpredictable. You cannot control the economy, you cannot control the housing market, and you certainly cannot control your company's bottom line. The only thing you can control is your margin of safety. That margin is cash. It is the bridge between where you are and where you want to go. It is the only asset that gives you the one thing you need most when things go wrong. Time. Time to think, time to pivot, and time to act while everyone else is reacting. Do not let the investing gurus shame you into being vulnerable. Build your strength, stack your cash, and wait for your moment. Because when that moment comes, the person with the liquidity is the only person in the room who truly has a choice. In the end, the strategy is simple, but the discipline is hard. It requires you to value your future freedom more than your present status. It requires you to say no to the shiny things today, so you can say yes to the life-changing opportunities tomorrow. It's about recognizing that the opportunity cost of holding cash is often far lower than the catastrophe cost of not having it. Whether you are negotiating a six-figure contract or just trying to get through a rough month, your cash is your superpower. It is the quiet confidence that comes from knowing that no matter what happens when you wake up tomorrow, you are going to be okay. That peace of mind is the greatest return on investment you will ever receive. It is the foundation upon which all other success is built. So, take a look at your accounts. If you don't have that margin of safety, make it your primary mission. Forget the complex strategies and the hot tips. Focus on the one thing that actually changes the pastor dynamic of your life. Get liquid, stay patient, and start building the strength that only comes from having the ability to walk away. The world belongs to those who have the resources to wait for it.